Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Gala. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have a higher time frame video which you can find up above here, so check it out if you have not already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so the first way we're going to talk about this is in the bullish case, where we're actually looking for the potential that we could get a reversal and a push to the upside here. Okay, so let's get into that. Now, what we're looking for here is that effectively we could have a low point in place here, at least in a short term. And we're looking for either the fact of this as an ABC, looking to push up towards us 07460, or alternatively a wave 3 looking to take us up towards us 1771. We've actually come down to this zone of this 01911. Now this is an important level. This is a 0.854 retracement. What we don't want to see is price actually come back down and start to consolidate below this. If we do, it becomes more likely that we're actually going to take this low out and be looking for that bearish count to come into play. As long as we hold this low of this 01551, we can look for the potential of a reversal to the upside here, looking for a 5-wave move in a C wave. Okay, so now if we are arguing that this is potentially a completed move into this low, we'd have to look at this in this way. We'd be treating this as a W, this is an X, and then we'd say that this is A with a B wave triangle in here, and we're actually looking for this as a C wave to the downside. Now, what we would be looking at here is this move doesn't look complete to me. Now, within this, we can argue that there is still an additional 5th wave to the downside. So I'm just being mindful that, you know, there is a possibility that we could still see price come down here towards this 121, which would actually bring us into this little target box here that we've got between this 01802 to this 01549. Now, within this target box, I do have a weekly naked point of control sitting at this 1802. There's a daily one at this 1746. And then lower down here we have this 1570 region as a daily naked point of control as well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this if we do see price continue down. Now, if we had to move back up above this B wave high here of this 3103, this would invalidate the potential of any further extension here, in which case we would probably have to then say that somewhere within here we've had an extension in this as a 5th wave, which is not quite as common as within the 3rd. So the way I'm currently looking at this is that if we're still looking for this potential, because of the way the structure is here, it would make a lot of sense that this is 1 2 1 2, and then we got a 3 4 and a 5. Now the problem that I have with this as a 4th wave is actually how deep we've come here. Now, we didn't come very high with this wave 2. We can see it was very shallow up here. So this is allowed within Elliott wave. Sometimes we get an alternation between the waves. If the wave 2 is shallow, the wave 4 will be deeper. Now, if we do start to break down here, and this actually starts to become 1 2, we get 3 4 and 5. What I'll be looking for would actually be this target area here of this 01749 to this 01609. Now, if we do see this actually push down here one more time in a 5-wave move, what I'd then be looking out for would be the potential of actually having an additional 4th and a 5th, which could look to push us down towards this zone here of this 1617 to this 1501. Now, if we did have to come down to this 1694, I wouldn't want to see price come up higher than this 2180. If we did, then we need to start being aware that the count is starting to get tested again. Just like we have come up here past this 50% here, I'm just being mindful, you know, because this has been so deep, we also can't rule out the fact that we actually get a much bigger breakdown developing off the back of this, where this is actually just 1 2 1 2, but this would only be confirmed by a much deeper move here. That move would have to come down towards this zone here of this 1288. So if we start to break down in a bigger way here, we see price actually breaking down and hitting this zone of this 1288. What becomes more likely then is that we've got extension, and this is another 1 2 here. This becomes 3 4 5. Then we'd be looking for a 4 and a 5 and a 4 and a 5. So this is how the waves can extend out. If, however, we did come down into this yellow target box area, we'd need to be cautious, because this would actually look to take us right down into this invalidation range. So possibly we could actually protect this and form a double bottom here. But if we did, it would be very unlikely that this next move to the upside would be a wave 3, because typically speaking, wave 2s are quite, they'll look to end between that 50% and that 854. Once we start getting into the territory of over 85%, you know, it starts to become more likely that this structure is going to be a flat. So this is always possible. Like I said, you know, we're looking for that possibility that this could just be A, B, and C. But, you know, really, I'm looking at this move to the upside here as an impulse, and then I'm looking for this to be a zigzag rather. Okay, so now we've gone over that bullish potential, and that all hinges on holding this low here of this 01551. If we start to lose that, then we need to be aware that it is possible that we could rather be looking for a direct breakdown in a 5-wave structure. In a more bearish way, what we could actually have is that this C wave to the upside is a flat correction. Now this could actually be from further back here. This is an A, this is a B, and this is a C. Now the time relationship is not great, like I said previously, between this B wave and this A wave, but what we could actually see is this 3618 has a good relationship between the A wave and the C wave. So I'm just being mindful that this is technically a possibility. Now if this is the case and we are looking to actually break down in a bigger way here, what we would then be arguing is that we still have a 5-wave move to play out here. So this would be looking at this orange count that we have highlighted here, treating this as a wave 1 to looking for a third wave down towards this 1500 area as a wave 3. Now within this count here, we could actually potentially argue there is some extension going on here, and what would be more important to me, it would actually be on these internals here. So for confirmation, I'd want to see a move down towards this 0133 region, and actually that would be looking to break this low point here, so that would invalidate that bullish count. Now if we are looking at this, as we discussed previously, there's a potential we could be starting to extend out here, and we can see here that these smaller internal waves could actually bring us down towards this 0167 to this 01501 area, and this would actually, you know, not meet this requirement of this as a 1-2, looking for this as a wave 3. Technically speaking, it doesn't have to hit this, but we just have more confidence if we do hit this 1618. If, however, we do get some extension within these waves, what we could actually see is the price could actually come down towards us. We'd get an additional 4th and a 5th, and then we'd have to be mindful effectively that this area here would then possibly be this bigger third wave zone. Now this would mean that this third wave would actually move down into this area here, and what we could actually see is there could be something like a 2.618 relationship of this wave 1 to the end of the structure. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this 2.618. If we had that third wave move down here, we'd be looking for a 4th and then that 5th, which could actually look to bring us down into this zone. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that if we do actually see price start to break down here in a bigger way. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the CPR here on the weekly. What we can see is we are at the bottom end of these lines here. Now we are rejecting currently off of this bottom CPR line here. Now what we could see is if price actually manages to break back above this, we could retest the center one here at this 2326, or this higher one here at this 2405, and these could potentially be rejection areas. Alternatively, if we do manage to get back above this and flip this into support, we could actually see price be gravitated to the upside here, looking for this S1 at this 2802, this S2 at this 3447, and this area here of this 3927 for the S3. If, however, we're looking at that bearish option here where we're actually saying that we've still got some extension to the downside, what we can see is that this aligns with a move up here into the 0.618, and that we do have our 5th wave target box where this R1 line is here towards us 1675. So we'll be keeping an eye on that if we do actually look to break down into these levels. Alternatively, if we do look to push down lower, we have the R2 line here sitting at this 1198, and then the R3 line is all the way down here towards us 00548 region. So I'm not necessarily thinking we're going down to this, but you never know with crypto. We'll have to keep an eye and see how this actually plays out. Now we're going to flip this over onto the monthly now, and we're going to talk about a couple of things here. So now we are above this R2 line. This could potentially be support if we look to move down and retest it at the 02086. So if we do see price actually come back down here, I would be looking to see if this actually holds as a potential support zone, and then we could actually see price be gravitated back up to this R1 line of this 2514. If we do actually move up to that, what we could then see is that price could then get gravitated up towards these central CPR lines, which are sitting here towards this 3292 to this 3061. The S1 is here at this 3607, the S2 at this 4262, and the S3 at this 4703. Now, if we do see price, however, start to lose this level, what we could see is a potential move down towards this zone of this 01419. So I'll be keeping an eye on this over the period of this month. We could see price react to these certain levels, so we're going to have to be a little bit patient and see exactly how this develops here. Having a look here at the Ichimoku Clouds on the 1 hourly, we can see that we are actually currently above the conversion line and the baseline, and they are flipped in the right direction for bullish moves. Now, we could potentially see price actually get rejected here off of the top of this cloud and actually look to just fall away from this. If however we see price break back above this, potentially this could be flipped into support and we could actually look for higher prices to come. Now if we are looking at this move on the 4 hourly, we can see that the 4 hourly conversion line is actually offering us support currently. Now we can see it's very tightly being hugged by price action. So if we see price action actually start to break to the upside here, I would be looking out for this 2357 as a potential rejection zone. Then we also have this baseline here at this 2435 and the top of this cloud at this 2504. So I would be monitoring these zones as potential areas we could actually see a rejection off of. On the 8 hourly, we can see that we're bouncing off this conversion line here. So we can see that the 4 hourly is actually pushing us up here. If we actually look to break back above this, we could actually see price start to break to the upside here and possibly even see that move up towards this baseline of this 2506, or possibly even start to move up higher here towards this top end of this cloud. Now depending on how long this takes to drag out, this could be anywhere from this 3103 to this zone. You have this 2832, and then the top end of it is obviously up here at this 3278 and this 3457 region. So we'll be keeping an eye on those two areas if we do actually look to push up. Coming on to the daily, we have the conversion line sitting at this 2506, and then we have the baseline up here at this 3415, top of the bottom of the cloud here at this 3495, top of the cloud here at this 4518. So it would be interesting to see how price reacts to these. If we do continue to the upside here in 3 waves, you know, we could actually potentially come back into some of these key levels and then look for that rejection and then continue down. Alternatively, if we do start to flip some of these, we could actually find support on them and then looking to push to the upside. So these are just other levels that we use as confluence with our main analysis method. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.